Hello and welcome to Hednesford Hills Raceway in Staffordshire for the 2019 staging of the Brisca Formula 1 Stock Cars British Drivers' Championship. One of the biggest championship races of the year sees a huge field of drivers from all over the UK here to do battle for the prestigious title. Title holder Stuart Smith having sadly been forced to retire from the sport due to injury, so the title is wide open. 4 heats in the first part of our programme, followed by another 2 in part 2. And then the big race comes up at the end of the day. Each driver racing in 3 out of the 6 heats. Heat number 1 is on track now, and this is the one-car race for drivers who use the same car on both shale and tarmac tracks. We have 15 cars out there for this one, something a little bit different to kick off the British Championship. Number 13, Kelvin Hassel, and 303, Carl Whiteman on the front row of the grid. This grid mainly made up of lower graders. Slightly damp track conditions as we get underway with Kelvin Hassel in number 13, fresh from his first wins in Brisca F1 last weekend at Birmingham. Out in front, second place, number 136 of Rob Jacklin coming through on the inside. The yellow graders closing up. There's already bumpers going in. They're tangled there. Jacklin, Carl Whiteman and Dave Dorrans have tangled up there. Dave Dorrans in the 366. The yellow grader gets going again at the back of the field. You can see the rain clouds hanging around over the stadium, but conditions dry at the moment. Number 11 there, Neil Scriven, a Hednesford specialist. In fact, many predicting that either he or his brother Michael may well walk away with the British title today. He's up there in second place, but it is Kelvin Hassel who leads the way in at number 13. Third place, we've got number 345, Jake Harry. Behind him, well, he was third, but he's just been shunted wide by 242 of Joe Nichols in this opening heat for the one-car dual surface drivers. Scriven up there in second place. Joe Nichols is now third. Coming through in fourth, that looks like Callum Oakes Kitson, number 532. Those two stranded cars on turn 4, trying to get going again. You can see clearly how banked the turns are here at Hednesford, one of the fastest tracks on the Brisca schedule. There is number 166 of Bobby Griffin down the back straight, the blue grader. Treble 5 is Frankie Wainman Jr., Little Ted as he's known to his family. Number 11 of Neil Scriven, catching the 13 of Kelvin Hassel. Third place still Joe Nichols in 242. There goes the bumper in, and out goes Hassel into the pile-up on turn 4. Deposited nicely there. There's more cars piling in. That's Jake Harry, Phoebe Wainman and Callum Oakes Kitson have gone in, so there's going to be quite a hole in the field as a result of that. So turn 4 partially blocked, but there is a way through on the inside. Jake Harry into retirement as the number 11 car of Neil Scriven continues to lead ahead of Joe Nichols now. He's probably wondering where everybody else has gone behind him. There's not too many cars left in this one. Bigger grids coming up later on in the day, of course, when the tarmac specials of the superstars come in. Fourth place there, number 212, Danny Wayman. There's the Union flag for halfway. It is still number 11, Neil Scriven, who sets the pace ahead of Nichols, Griffin. Then it's Danny Wayman in fourth. Not too many left behind that. Little Ted Wayman in treble 5, I think, is in 5th place. Here's a battle further back. Dave Dorrans recovering after his problems on the opening lap, battling with Mark Wareham, number 401, returning to Brisca F1 this year after many seasons away. He's been racing stocks, karts and heritage cars in the intervening years. 229, Derek Brown, good to see him back out. He's just behind this group. Kelvin Hassel in trouble again in the number 13. There he gets bashed wide by Dorrans. Who's that rejoining from the infield? That's 345 Jake Harry, a number of laps down. Oh, Scriven's broken. The race leader pulls off. Saw a puff of smoke from under the car there, so that gives Joe Nichols the lead now in car 242. Kelvin Hassel limps on in number 13, many laps down. Danny Wayman is now second, Bobby Griffin third. And little Ted Wayman, treble 5, is fourth. There's broken cars littering turns 3 and 4 and the infield. This is unusually destructive for a first heat. This is only a small grid as well, the one-car contingent. 242, Joe Nichols continues to set the pace. He's been taken there. I think he's got a flat tyre, Joe Nichols. Yes, the outside rear is flat, and Danny Wayman has taken the lead ahead of Griffin. And also coming through is Frankie JJ, as we used to call him, in treble 5. So Joe Nichols has picked up a flat tyre. Here's the battle between the 364, which is Rob Plant, 401 Mark Wareham, Derek Brown in there as well. There's going to be very few finishers this one. There weren't that many cars out there in the first place. There were only 15 started the race. So we're going to have possibly a slightly unusual result here, but not an unusual winner. 212, Danny Wayman, former under-25s champion, leads them round. on his last lap now, into turns 3 and 4 as the track starts to get a little slick again. There's some drivers with plenty of repairs to do after this race, but not Danny Wayman. He takes the win ahead of Bobby Griffin and little Ted Wayman. 4th place, a long way back, is going to be, I think, Callum Oakes-Kidson, but we'll confirm that shortly. As Joe Nichols limps across the line with a flat tyre. Rick Shames, he had that race in the bag. The win goes to Danny Wayman ahead of Bobby Griffin by just over a second. With little Ted Wayman 3rd ahead of Mark Ware and 4th ahead of Rob Plants. Joe Nichols salvaged 6th ahead of Dave Dorrans, recovering after his off early on. Then Derek Brown, Daz Kitson and Jake Harry several laps down, rounding out the top 10. Kelvin Hassel was the only other finisher.
2-1-2, Danny Wayman, winner of Heat 1 here at the British, and also that was the one car series race as well.
Yeah, the make it so if you do one car on both surfaces, you sort of get not an easier heat, but you get a heat with less cars, and it's to make shale drivers come onto tarmac, and then when the British is on shale, it'll be to make tarmac drivers go on shale. And I'm running one car majority of this season to try and make it so I can run one car. I think I'm doing a lot better now with one car than I was with 2.
And you're not going to complain, because that's a hatful of points early on.
Yeah, it is. I thought today that would be heat where I would get some good points. I know I'm in the British now, which is a good thing, and now it's just a case of getting some more time in the car, making sure it's right for the final.
And of course, looking now, it's starting to rain. That could change everything.
It could, but it's hednesford. It runs off the track quite quick, so should be okay, I think.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Sunshine back out then for heats at number 2. We're on board with Matt Newson in car number 16. Came within one turn of winning this title last year at Bellevue and then got potted into the fence by Stuart Smith. 287 Sean Willis and 325 of Richard Davies lead them off. There are 26 cars on the grid for this heats at number 2. Away they go in front of a huge crowd here in the big bowl of Hednesford. One car not getting away there, number 5 Charlie Sauder pulls up on the outside. We go on board with Tom Harris in car number 84. He can't stop winning in 2019. Will he add another title to his name here today? There's 217 of Lee Fairhurst alongside Paul Harrison in number 2. 6 British championships between them. Paul's won it 4 times, Lee Fairhurst twice. With Tom Harris getting the bumper in there, and a whole line of cars go into the fence. Several of the blue tops there. Junior Wayman gets through on the inside in 515, the national points champion. Not surprising, he's got the most British championships in history. He's won it 9 times. Can he make it double figures here today? Tom Harris gets through there on the inside in car 84. Saw his run of final wins ended last weekend at Birmingham and Buxton. Flash their way around the Hednesford banking. There's number 4 of Dan Johnson, a mixed season for him so far. Passing number 300 of Paul Carter. On board with Matt Newson alongside another of the favourites for the title today, Luke Davidson in number 464. Ahead of us is the number 180 car, which is Courtney Wintz. What a great season she's had, moving up to yellow grade this year. There's 48 of Sean Webster, specialist on the tarmac in the Midlands at Hednesford and Birmingham. Junior Wayman attacks 422 of Ben Riley, keeping up his chase of Tom Harris here. They go past Courtney Wintz, they'll be past Sean Webster shortly as well, but still your leader is Sean Willis, number 287, the white grader up front. All the actions in the pack behind him though. There is 464 Luke Davidson. There's the leader, Sean Willis, into turns 1 and 2, and the Reds and Superstars have caught them up now at the front of the field. Matt Newson is up into 3rd position. Junior Wayman having a go at Lee Fairhurst in 217. Such an open field, so many potential title winners. Of course, the title holder, Stuart Smith, we mentioned, very sadly forced to retire owing to injuries sustained at the end of last season. Newson now 2nd and going for the lead here. Luke Davidson is up to 3rd. On board with Newson, he goes for the inside coming out of turn 4, draws up alongside Sean Willis, and through he goes. Matt Newson, your new leader in car number 16. The other car from the lower graders still in among the leaders is 501 of George Elwell. He's in there in 5th place, the yellow top. It's Newson who leads now from Willis. Tom Harris goes through into 3rd place, which will become 2nd very shortly. He's got the inside line down the home straight under the starter's rostrum, goes through into turn 1. It's a very tricky Hednesford Hills Raceway, built on the site of a former reservoir in South Staffordshire. Built back in the 1960s, this tarmac bowl, the home of non-contact hot rod racing. Brisca F1s certainly do put on a show on their occasional visits. They last contested the British Championship here back in 1990 when John Lund was the winner. Here's Junior Wayman, 5.15, looking for his 10th British title this year. We're with him as they head down the home straight, attacking George Elwell in 5.01, an early leader 2.87, Sean Willis. Inside, down the back straight, past the winner's ramp. Junior Wayman had a huge rollover on that back straight around 10 years ago. Lucky to escape unharmed. Fire now from 2.17 of Lee Fairhurst. Up on 3.25 there, Richard Davies being lapped. Still Matt Newson up front. Looks like Mad Dog is heading for victory. 3 laps to go, signalled by the starter. Still a few drops of rain in the air here at Hednesford Hills Raceway. The weather just cannot make up its mind what it wants to do from one race to the next this weekend. Tom Harris still second. We'll see if he can catch Matt Newson on this last lap. Junior Wayman under fire. This is for 4th place from Lee Fairhurst. They've got Luke Davidson ahead of them. Redton Superstar certainly rising to the top in this heat number 2. Into the last lap go the leaders. They've got Charlie Sauder ahead of them and had problems at the start of the race. Now can Tom Harris, the European champion, move into line to attack? He's going to have a go here into the final turn. They go over the rumble strips on the inside. He's not going to do it. And number 16, Matt Newson, power slides across the line to take the win. Second for Tom Harris, Davidson third, then Wayman and Fairhurst round out the first 5. Looks like Bradley Harris at number 25 completed the top 6. Confirm the rest of the result in just a moment as the checkered flag waves here at Hednesford Raceway on heat number 2. Late problems there for number 37, Chris Cowley on the infield. Well, Tom Harris tried his hardest, but he couldn't catch Matt Newson. It was Mad Dog who took the win by half a second ahead of Tom Harris. Luke Davidson taking third ahead of Junior Wayman, Lee Fairhurst and Bradley Harrison. Dan Johnson next home ahead of Paul Harrison, Bradley's father. George Elwell and Ben Riley rounding out the top 10. 19 of the 26 starters went the distance. Tom Harris got the fastest lap of the race.
16, Matt Newson. We've been here before. Heat 2 winner. We said we weren't going to interview you this year. Put the bad luck on you, but here you are.
Yeah, we're still doing it, aren't we? I don't know. You know, the last 2 years when I won both my first heats and then in the big race, I've come so close but not done it. I might forfeit the next heat, so I give it. No, we're just doing what we can do, and hopefully this year could actually be the one. So
it would be the fairy tale this year, but we don't want to jinx that.
Yeah, you don't know how many people have said that lately, with obviously being ill and stuff, and obviously coming back to racing, probably going as well now as I ever had. Everyone's like, oh, it'll be a fairy tale. And I was like, I don't want to hear it, to be fair. I just want to see if I can get out there, get the job done, and then we'll joke about it later if it comes together.
And we can see the team working behind you there. Problem?
Yeah, well, in that heat, I was moaning about someone on track laying loads of oil and that, because it was making it slippery, only to find out that was me laying the oil, to be fair. I think it's only got a rocker cover gasket gone. We had the rocker covers off this week at home just to check everything was okay, and obviously putting it back together, it's not quite right, so the team are on it. They'll get it sorted. So,
well, hopefully an easy fix, and best of luck.
That's the plan. Thank you, boys.
Cars on the rolling lap for heat number 3. Then we've got 23 cars out there this time. Richard Davies and Kelvin Hassel to lead them off. Junior Wayman's out in this one. Luke Davidson as well, among others further back. Dan Johnson, Paul Harrison, and plenty more talent as we get underway. One of the yellow graders very slow away there in the background. Sun now out here at Hednesford Raceway as they charge their way through the first turn. Kelvin Hassel, the early leader in car number 13 ahead of Richard Davies. Looks like Mark Ware up to third in car 401. He's under attack from Joe Nichols. In fact, he's really attacked him. He's really on top of him there as they come off turn 4. Well, Joe Nichols got a puncture earlier on. I think he's trying to save on a bit of tyre wear there, but that's going to put him out of the race. Junior Wayman gets the bumper in on the 4-time British champion number 2, Paul Harrison. Somebody nearly hits the winner's ramp there on the inside of the back straight. The bumper's going in all over the place. Craig Finnegan in 55, looking for his second British title today, attacking John Fortune, the lone Scotsman, in number 164. Wayman tucks in on the inside line. 445 Nigel Green is up behind him. Bumpers going in there. Ryan Harrison under fire from the number 4 of Dan Johnson. So in there, Paul Harrison, car number 2. The 2 yellow graders we saw tangled up for stationary on the inside of the home straights. Joe Nichols still stuck on top of Mark Wareham. Ryan Harrison 197, only the second weekend for his new car. Debuted at the UK Open at Skegness as Danny Wayman looking for a second win. Wallops 101 Tristan Jackson straight in there, along with John Fortune. Danny Wayman looking quick. Here he goes. Well here at Hednesford. Usually we only see 1 or 2 appearances from the F1s at this Staffordshire venue every year. We didn't see them at the traditional April Birmingham Hednesford weekender this year, a slight change to the fixture list. Kelvin Hassel continues to lead ahead of 5:01 George Elwell and 3:46 Ashley England. Now, he had a final win at Hednesford in the World Championship qualifier last year. This F2 man knows this track very well indeed. He's chasing down George Elwell and trying to go through for second place. There's Nichols and Wareham stuck together on the home straight. England goes into second place. Gets some bumper back again as he goes into turn 3. 5:01 of George Elwell fighting back Ben Riley, number 422, the wet weather specialist, in 4th place behind them. Further back, 175 of Carl Hawkins, recovered from a big smash at Buxton last weekend, has got the car repaired, battling with John Fortune. And the 526, that's Finn Sargent, East Coast Legend Junior, as some call him, son of Mark Sargent, number 326, of course. Out of action due to engine dramas at the moment as Finn attacks. Oh, he's going to tangle with John Fortune. Off they go. Great cloud of tyre smoke, like I've seen in Days of Thunder, where Tom Cruise drives through the great cloud of smoke in his NASCAR. They came down the straight. That might have unsettled Kelvin Hassel there, number 13. He's under fire for the lead. Ashley England up the inside, down the back straights, and he goes into the lead. 3:46 Ashley England, your new leader. Second, number 13, Kelvin Hassel. Then third, it's George Elwell ahead of Ben Riley and Luke Davidson, with Junior Wainman in 6th. We're with him as they head around turns 1 and 2. There's Luke Davidson, number 464, ahead of us. Junior Wainman could be under fire here. His fellow Reds and Superstars behind him carrying the silver roof, and now record 14-time national points champion, defeating the record held by the legendary Stuart Smith Senior for so many years. Somebody slowing up there, that's Courtney Witts out of it. Saw Ben Riley get bumpered wide by Luke Davidson for 4th place a lap ago as well. He's having a go now at George Elwell for 3rd. Still Ashley England, the blue grader, who leads the way. That's the packed terracing on the back straight. There's Nigel Green, 4:45. A relatively quiet day for the former world champion so far. Junior Wainman on the attack again, fires Riley into Elwell, takes them both wide. Moves up behind Luke Davidson now in 4:64. They're coming around to start their final lap. I don't think they're going to catch Ashley England. The bumper going in there on the back of Wainman. That was from Ben Riley fighting back. But Ashley England has pulled away. He's just lapped 3:45 Jay Carey. And down the back straight, it's going to be a win for the blue grader. Ace Ashley England in number 346, showing his love of Hednesford Raceway. Out of the final turn, comes up to take the checkered flag. England the clear winner ahead of Kelvin Hassel, an excellent second place, and a whole train of Reds and Superstars, plus blue grader Ben Riley in behind them. Kelvin Hassel, great result for him, hanging on for second place from the front row of the grid as the Reds and Superstars bore down on him. It was a win for 346 of Ashley England, taking the flag 1.6 seconds clear of Kelvin Hassel, with Luke Davidson holding off Junior Wainman for 3rd. Ben Riley defeated by Wainman eventually into 5th. George Elwell in 6th. Then Nigel Green, Craig Finnekin, Ryan Harrison and Danny Wainman rounding out the top 10. 18 cars went the distance. Luke Davidson fastest lap.
8-3 winner, Ashley England. That was a good result.
Yeah, definitely. First time out on track, first race and first win.
British Championship Day, them points, they're crucial.
Yeah, they're definitely crucial. Get further up the grid, especially a win, that's definitely crucial, because if I have 2 bad heats now, I've still got a first position to help me further up the grid, so yeah.
And the racing seems to be getting faster and a little bit harder every race as well.
Yeah, it was quite hard, that race, that one, and to be fair, it was hard getting through, because it's such a big track, everyone's sort of about the same pace. So yeah, you just have to gain them little bits, and then once I got to the front, it was easy, you get away, but yeah, it's all important getting to the front of the pack.
And now you just got to keep the car sweet for the rest of the meeting.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Well, best of luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Heat number 4 on track then. This time we've got 26 cars out there. Leading round to the green is Rob Jacklin in number 136 alongside 229 Derek Brown. Sean Willis behind them in 287. Green flag already out and away they go. Yellow graders already on the attack. 366 Dave Dorrans at the front of them, ahead of Daz Kinson, the former F2 world champion in number 532. Not his son Callum, as I said during Heat 1. Apologies there. So sharing a car this year. There's 124 Kyle Gray, the leading red top. He had a win here at Hednesford last season. Dave Doran's attacking for the lead. He takes 229 of Derek Brown out wide in his Wayneman-built car. Moving up on the back of Sean Willis, the Lincolnshire driver, now in 287. Had a win in one of the heats last weekend at Buxton. Going for the inside now, Dave Dorans, the ex-V8 stock car man, takes the lead into turn 1. So the yellow grader moves to the front. Mickey Randall, 172, is up into 4th place. Here's a battle further back. Phoebe Wayneman in the middle of that group. Further forward, Aaron Leach. Michael Scriven, the Hednesford specialist, number 12. He's had a string of final wins over the years. Some tipping him as a dark horse for the title here today. Forward with Matt Newson in car number 16. Ahead of us, Craig Finnegan. Bradley Harrison in the 25. Kyle Gray on the outside in number 124. So goes in from Newson on the back of Bradley Harrison. Moves through. Kyle Gray also drops back on the outside in 124. This is more like it. 3 and 4 abreast in the midfield here, pushing and shoving. Gray bounces off the back straight wall. Craig Finnegan under fire from Newson, fires the bumper in into turn 3, takes him wide. 4-5 Nigel Green at the head of this group, and Tom Harris as well in the number 84. Starting to come through from the back, the superstar graders. Phoebe Wayman's going to be taken out there in the background. A couple of cars crash out in avoidance. Didn't see who they were. That could be a caution flag. The race still continuing at the moment, but I think Phoebe's car is stuck there on the outside of turn 2. Indeed it is, facing the wrong way, everybody moving to the inside. Tom Harris, whoops, that was nearly an Evel Knievel moment there over the winner's ramp. He nearly collected it there. That would have been interesting. The yellow flag is now out with Phoebe Wayman stuck on turn 2. He's got spun aside there coming off the turn, and a couple of cars I think went into the wall in avoidance. Bradley Harrison might have been one of them. You see them there on turns 1 and 2. Phoebe just got caught up and spun aside, and a couple of cars crashed out in avoidance. That's the reason for the caution flag. Your leader is Dave Dorans in car number 366, looking forward, I think will be his first brisca F1 win if he can hang on in front here. He's raced Bangers, he's raced Rebels, he's raced in the V8s, and now moving to F1s. It's Kyle Gray who hit the wall there. You can see his car on the infield. Look at the state of that. That could be the end of his day. Great shame for the youngster, the UK Open champion. Come round towards the green flag, nice and steady at the moment. Dave Dorans the leader. Second is 48 of Sean Webster. Mickey Randall third. Ryan Harrison, the first of the star graders, in 197 with his new car in 4th place. Looking steady at the moment. Now the power comes on and away they go. Towards the first turn, it's Dave Dorans holding the lead. Ryan Harrison already up into 3rd place. He's got ahead of Randall. He's got Michael Scriven in number 12 up behind him. Down the back straight they go. Ryan Harrison's ready to attack for the lead. Webster led there for about 50 yards, but now Harrison takes the lead at half distance. Dorans back into 2nd place in 366. A double bumper move by Ryan Harrison there. He lost somebody into the wall on turn 2. It was a blue top, I think. Ball with Matt Newson. He's now up into the top 6. Attacks Mickey Randall and Sean Webster in one move. Now into 4th. Scriven up to 2nd ahead of Dave Dorans. Positions changing all the time now. Harris and Green. Oh, the blue grader that was stranded on the outside there nearly got collected by Tom Harris. It's Aaron Leach who's gone into the wall there. And Harris lucky not to crash into him. He's had a couple of near scrapes in this one as Tom, the European champion, were with him now. Attacking Matt Newson and 445 of Nigel Green. Certainly the best race we've had today so far. This heat number 4 for the brisca Formula 1 stock cars qualifying for their British Drivers' Championship later on. Still your leader is Ryan Harrison. Sean Willis has crashed into Aaron Leach's car now. That's the risk of running wide here at Hednesford. You never know what you're going to meet on the outside or up against the fence. Harrison leads from Scriven. Dave Dorans was taken wide there. He's lost a couple more spots on turn 4. He's now going to be sent wide by Matt Newson. I think he's gone into the pile-up as well. Charlie Sauder has, and so has Chris Cowley. Dorans survived that, only just in 4th place. Matt Newson trying for a 2nd win. There's still a few drops of rain in the air, having every sort of weather at once here at Hednesford today. Normally at Buxton you get that. That was last week. The weather's a week late. Now we have lost Dave Dorans into the pile-up on turn 2. Oh dear, I can't keep up with this race. 217, former champion Lee Fairhurst gets past Daz Kitson, the ex-Formula 2 world champion. He's passed as well by 55 of Craig Finnegan. It's 197, flying Ryan Harrison out in front. Is Hednesford specialist Michael Scriven, the Gloucestershire Gladiator, going to catch him here? I don't think he is. They're into the last lap now, into the final turn. Tom Harris has a last lap lunge at Nigel Green, takes him into Michael Scriven. Ryan Harrison has taken the win, meanwhile, ahead of Green in second. Third is Harris, and then the rest of them come home. That was a frantic race, certainly the best we've had so far today in the midfield. Ryan Harrison judging the restarts to perfection to take the two yellow graders who were fighting for the lead, Sean Webster and Dave Dorrans. He comes through to take the first win for his new car ahead of Nigel Green and Tom Harris. Good battle between them. Michael Scriven relegated to fourth, then Matt Newsom fifth ahead of Sean Webster, Lee Fairhurst seventh ahead of Craig Finnegan, and Mickey Randall and Daz Kitson rounding up the top 10. 14 cars went the distance in that one. Fastest lap went to the race winner.
Heat 4 winner, 197 Ryan Harrison, in the first win in the new car.
Yeah, it's good to get the first win in with the third meeting really with the weekend we've had. And I messed up in the first race, and we're trying to save tyres for later on, and that doesn't get you on the grid, does it, further up there? So now we're saving everything, whatever it needs, we're going to give it, and we're only here to do one thing.
That's it. It's the heats are nice to get in the final, but it's all aiming for that last race.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching what other people are doing, and you know, Matty Newson's obviously got some points, good points in the bag, so he's going to be ahead of us the way it goes. Ideally, we want him to be the front red on the grid. It's not going to work out, but it's a long race, the final, and we can push hard.
And this new car, it looks like there's a lot of new ideas on it and things. Have you found it tricky to get it where you want it?
Yeah, it's basically a completely different chassis layout. Everything about it is different. To be fair, we're really lucky with how good it is out the box. The last car we did took us 4 or 5 months before we even seen a win. So third meeting out on a win, and we've proven we've got some good speed with it. And yeah, look, keep an eye out for it in the future.
And certainly a dark horse for the final.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to kick off. It's a big track and things can happen fast here, so you've got to keep your wits about you. But yeah, we're only here to win, so we're not interested in second or third, so we're all or nothing.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Typical hard-hitting Hednesford action in the 4 heats we have seen so far here at the 2019 Brisca F1 British Drivers' Championship. We're going to take a short break, but 2 more heats to come in the second part of our programme, followed by the big race. Don't go away, back in a few moments' time. Welcome back to Hednesford Hills Raceway here at the 2019 British Drivers' Championship for Brisca Formula 1 stock cars. We've already seen the first 4 qualifying heats. Drivers have 2 more heats before the big race to get those all-important points and get a place on the grid for the race that everyone wants to win here today. Heat number 5 out onto track next. Lee Fairhurst, Dan Johnson among the number for this race. Danny Wainman is out there as well. Up to the grid we've got number 13 Kelvin Hassel alongside 287 Sean Willis. Anthony Lee number 339 out for his first appearance of the day as well. 16 laps the distance once again. Away they go. 23 cars on track for heat number 5. Really a bit of push and shoving among the yellow graders. Danny Wainman having a go at Dan Johnson, gets a tap in turn from Lee Fairhurst in 217. There's already a tangle there. Martin Spires goes around, and that's Ant Lee 339 up on his side against the wall. He didn't even complete his first lap of the day. The caution is out. Also involved there Harry Stewart, number 126. Neil Scriven is in there as well, number 11. He's not having a good day. Broke down in heat 1 while leading. The race brought to a halt. See what happened again there. 451 Martin Spires, the ex-Scottish champion, got spun out, and Ant Lee forced up against the wall by him and Neil Scriven, and up onto his side. Round went the 451. It was an attack from Mickey Randall. That's also a catalyst there. 339 Anthony Lee up on his side against the Armco. Fortunately, everyone is okay. I think the 339 car, the only casualty ahead of the restart, which is led by Sean Willis, number 287, and Kelvin Hassel, number 13 in second. 180 Courtney Witts in third. So away we go for the restart of heat number 5. Looking to get those all-important qualifying points for the big race. Later on we will see a 34-car grid for the British Championship. It's going in right from the off. Danny Wainman and Dan Johnson resume their battle. Somebody slowing on the outside. That was Ashley England, 346. He's not going to get a second win here. 2-2 of Ben Riley. Perhaps the only man who was praying for rain today. Attacks 172 of Tricky Mickey Randall. Lee Fairhurst removes Johnson and Wainman out wide. Takes the advantage down the back straight. The 2012 world champion. He's won the British twice in his career. He's won the European as well. Amazing amounts of achievements he's had for someone of such a young age. The Lancashire driver, chased by Dan Johnson. He's won the European and the national points in the past. So your leader at the moment is Sean Willis, number 287. There's 259, Paul Hines. We've not seen very much of him today, the man from Leicestershire. Certainly one of the nice guys of the sport. He's won a few titles in his time. So your leader is Sean Willis, number 287. There he is, ahead of Kelvin Hassel. Joe Nichols in 242 in third place. He's had a bit of misfortune, was leading his first heat, got a puncture. Through goes Hassel, takes the lead into turn 3. And of course in his second heat, Joe Nichols ended up on top of Mark Wareham's car, but he's through into the lead there into turn 1. Takes Kelvin Hassel, Courtney Witts in behind them, came within a few laps of winning the UK Open title this year, tangled with the back marker, allowing Kyle Gray to win. Nichols now into the lead then ahead of Hassel, Witts in third. This group battling it out behind. Sean Willis dropping back through the order now into the midfield draft. There's 164, John Fortune, the lone Scotsman. Seen a couple of Scottish drivers find success in brisca F1 in recent years, most notably Paul Ford, the 388, who won the final at the last ever meeting at Wimbledon, if memory serves me right. 212, Danny Wayman sticks the bumper in. Out goes Tristan Jackson, 101 backwards into the wall at turn 2. That may have broken his suspension, I think, so that'll be Jackson out of the race. Action Jackson, as we call him, but he's not had a good day today. Into the closing stages now of this heat number 5. There's Chris Cowley, number 37, the M&M's liveried car. Not had the best of days today. He's quite well up in the grading points, though. The lead battle slips past Charlie Sauder in the number 5 there. Sean Willis dropping through the order, number 287. That car currently up for sale. Hope he looks after it, doesn't pick up too much damage then. The puncture there, he's dropping back quite rapidly on the outside. Chris Cowley gets past him. So your leader is Joe Nichols, number 242. His father and uncle both raced brisca F1. His dad Dave's career was sadly ended by injury. It's Jeff Nichols, number 215, still going strong on the shale. Courtney Witts keeping pace with the 242 here. They're old rivals from their mini stocks days, those two. Kelvin Hassel still up there in third now. He's had a very impressive day indeed, really gaining in confidence all the time is Kelvin. Getting past him there for third is Lee Fairhurst in 217, but I don't think even Lee can catch the two yellow graders out ahead of him. They've made their escape. They're coming around to start their last lap this time. Dan Johnson up there in 5th in the orange number 4. Behind them Michael Scriven, Mr. Hednesford of the last few years, but not having the best of days today. We're on the last lap now. Is Courtney Witts going to go for a last spin lunge, or is she settling for a good point score? Oh, Kelvin Hassel slowing up there on the last lap. He's pulled up, bad luck to him. But well done Joe Nichols, who turns his day around in style with a victory ahead of Courtney Witts, Lee Fairhurst, Dan Johnson, Scriven, Hines and the rest of them. Bitter luck there for Kelvin Hassel, who was on for a top 3, but he's pulled up on turn 2. Car problems for the number 13. Certainly unlucky 13 for him in that one. It is Joe Nichols who overcomes problems earlier on to take the win, just under a second clear of Courtney Witts, with Lee Fairhurst taking third and the fastest lap. Dan Johnson 4th ahead of Michael Scriven, then Paul Hines ahead of Charlie Sauder, improving his day with 7th. Danny Wayman, Mickey Randall and John Fortune round out the top 10. 19 cars went the distance.
Heat 5 winner, 242, Joe Nichols. Going well in the old shale car.
Yeah, it's going well again. I haven't done anything from last week, just checked it over and... Well, so I had the tyres on it from bloody last week and I was doing donuts with, so it's going alright.
It's a big wide open track this, so it's even more impressive.
Yeah, I was watching the other heat and I stood by the fence and they're absolutely flying. We're going that fast, but yeah, it seems to be on the pace and going well, so yeah.
And you've bagged yourself a hat full of points. You could be quite fair up that grid.
Yeah, probably too far. I said to the team I just want to be back row, 5 or 6 points, but it seems to be right in the mix, and I'll be holding on tight and belted up tight and be scared.
Yeah, squeaky bum time.
Tell me about it.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff from Joe Nichols, always an entertainer. Heat number 6 then, the last chance for drivers to get points on the board ahead of the big race. We have 24 cars out on track this time. Don't forget each driver racing in 3 out of the 6 heats today. Paul Hines is out there again. Will Hunter, 220. Matt Newson's in this one. Ryan Harrison, Tom Harris, Junior Wayman. We're on board with Tom Harris in the number 84. So many potential title winners. In fact, almost anyone here today could win the British Championship today. We're underway with heat number 6. Red graders pushing and shoving. The early leader is Richard Davies, number 325, as Craig Finnegan under fire. Well, over the front of him goes Ryan Harrison, 197. That's broken Finnegan's front suspension, the wheel hanging off. He's out of the race. Ryan Harrison, I think, has got away with that as Dave Dorrans up the inside takes the lead coming out of turn 2. Richard Davies slowing up there. Looks like he could be out of it. Down the back straights. Dave Dorrans under fire now. There's a whole gaggle of yellow graders going for the lead. They're on the inside, George Elwell, also in there 48 of Sean Webster, and Jake Harry up there as well. Ryan Harrison has got damage as a result of that tangle. He's onto the centre. 3 and 4 abreast for the lead as they come down the back straight. Something's got to give here. There's 5 of them in there. A whole clutch of yellows fighting for the lead now. Who's going to come out with the lead as they come down towards turn 1 this time? We'll have a look further back. Matt Newson attacking the 364 and into the wall there. 2 or 3 cars have crashed. Mark Wareham was one of them, and a couple more yellow graders. So I said something had to give in that battle of the yellows for the lead, and that something was Mark Wareham in the 401. The caution flag is out. The caution comes out then, the race brought to a halt. There's a couple of cars in the wall there at turn 2. Sean Webster is the other yellow top. There's a white top in there as well, I think. They all slid. Oh, maybe it was oil down. They all seem to slide straight on. Webster, Wareham, and somebody else went crashing in as well. It was one of the blue tops further back, and another car sliding out to the wall behind them too. So there may have been some oil down there at turn number 1. Few cars on the infield. We're ready for a restart. It's 5:01. George Elwell that's got the lead ahead of 345 of Jake Harry. At the back there's Nigel Green, Junior Wainman, Tom Harris, Matt Newson just ahead of them in the number 16. We're on board with Wainman as we get back underway down towards turn 1 in the sunshine of Hednesford. They're still sliding them out and wallop straight in, going about 3 or 4 cars there. Now, was that oil or was that drivers being a bit over-eager on the restart? This continues on. We're on board with Junior Wainman still. There's definitely 2 or 3 cars in the wall. There's more cars piling in. I think we might be about to have another race stoppage. Phoebe Wainman's in there, Jake Harry, and a couple of others. That was Jake Harry who just went crashing in. I'm wondering if the race is going to be brought under caution again here. Meanwhile, Junior Wainman attacks Tom Harris, Luke Davidson behind them in 464. Yes, the yellow flags are waving again. Now, I'm wondering if there's still some oil down on turn 1 with cars sliding in. Is it Matt Newson's car dropping oil again, I wonder? We'll have to rename him Dick Dastardly if he's using tactics like that. See what happened on turns 1 and 2. And it was Luke Davidson who put the bumper in there, taking in 2 or 3 cars in one move. Walloped straight in no uncertain terms for Phoebe Wainman, among others. Several other cars caught up in that melee. Ready for a restart with 5:01. George Elwell still in the lead ahead of Ashley England. Back underway, coming through on the inside. That looks like Aaron Leach in number 17. Indeed it is. Behind him is Matt Newson, then Daz Kitson, Nigel Green, and Tom Harris. Newson looking for win number 2. He'll secure pole for the British Drivers' Championship race, which will be over 20 laps. On board with Junior Wainman in 515, attacking Luke Davidson in 464. Nigel Green wide there out of turn 2. Been an intriguing battle. No single driver has really been able to dominate the battle of the superstars here, but somebody looking to dominate this race is Ashley England. In goes the bumper on the 5:01 of George Elwell, and he rides it out nicely, keeps his lead. Get off, says George Elwell. I'm determined to win this race. England in second, but here comes that man, Matt Newson. He has been slightly a cut above today in the title that was snatched from him on the last bend of last year's British Drivers' Championship at Bellevue. We're with him down the back straights. No Stuart Smith to take the title off him this time. He's up to second now, chasing Elwell. The 3 laps to go this time. Out of turn 2, down the back straight. Newson to the inside, clashes wheels. He's got the inside line on Elwell. He takes the lead. Matt Newson looking so determined here today. He's going to become the first 2-time winner. Now here comes Tom Harris on the attack. He's come from nowhere. Attacks Elwell and England. He's going to get past both of them in one move down the back straight. Tom Harris up to second. Junior Wainman's in there as well. This race coming alive in its closing stages. Wainman elbows his way through past the yellow and blue top as well. Further back there is Will Hunter, 220. We've not seen much from him today. Better form has been on the shale this year. Behind him, Carl Hawkins in 175. The car repaired after his smash with Paul Harrison at Buxton last weekend. Matt Newson from Tom Harris Days like this, these two are going to share the front row for the big race. Down the back straight, is Harris going to try for a last spin lunge? Well, he's having to defend from Junior Wayman. The hit connects, but he's not quite going to get past Harris. Newson takes the win. Harris second, Wayman third. Great race between the stars and superstars once they made it through the front past Elwell and England there. Racing just getting better and better as the day goes on, and we could be in for a real treat in the British Drivers' Championship. Big race coming up next. Leading heat number 6 goes to Matt Newson, 1 second clear of Tom Harris. They'll share the front row for the main event. Junior Wayman third ahead of Ashley England, then Nigel Green in 5th, Aaron Leach 6th ahead of Luke Davidson, then early leader George Elwell, Paul Harrison and Paul Hines running out the top 10. 16 cars went the distance. Luke Davidson, the fastest lap.
Heat 6 winner, number 16, Matt Newson. Do you ever get that feeling of deja vu?
Yeah, but it's different order this year, so it's all right. The last 2 years I've won both the first 2 heats, so I thought I'd spice it up a bit this year. And car's going really well. Like I say, I've been here now the last 2 years. It doesn't mean it's job done. There's some very quick boys out there that want to win, and I just hope we get a real good race, and I really hope this time I can come out on top.
And last year you got, a lot of people said, a quick start, shall we say. This year you're on pole, so it's all yours.
Yeah, last year was one of them. I don't believe that the inside man should really set the pace. I believe the front row should. Just because I was on the outside don't mean I had to wait, but there was a lot of controversy, but it didn't matter anyway. Stuart beat me, job done, end of story. But yeah, I think I'm on pole. I believe I will be. Obviously now it's in my hands, and they better go with me this time then.
And of course this year you don't have Stuart to look for in the last corner.
No, this is very true, to be fair. That's always a good thing, but I didn't have Tom Harris last year, and now we've got Tom Harris, so who knows? A race is a race, and I've been here and done it before, and like I say, I really hope this year it can be everyone's saying, oh, it'll be a fairy tale, all that, and it would be, but we've got a good chance, to be fair. Cars flying, so.
And it could turn out to be a real stock car race, hopefully one that you're watching in your mirrors.
Yeah, to be honest with you though, if it does turn into a stock car race, I've got more chance of winning it. If it turns into a hot rod race, there's boys out there that are quicker than me with better machinery than me, but this is a stock car race, and that's what bumpers are for. So, but yeah, it'd be ever so nice to see a stock car race behind me whilst I've driven the distance, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, best of luck.
See you later, you lot.
The most famous words in motorsport herald the 34 Chevrolet V8 engines into life for today's feature event, the 2019 brisca Formula 1 Stock Cars British Drivers' Championship Grand Final. Number 16, Matt Newson, has qualified on pole position. 84, Tom Harris alongside him, and Matt's desperate to avoid a repeat of last year's race, where he led all but the final 100 yards after being poleaxed on the final turn by Stuart Smith. The Smith family have handed back the trophy that Stuart won on that occasion, with Stuart, as we mentioned, unable to defend his title here today due to injury, so sadly curtailing his career. Newson and Harris lead them off. Junior Wayman on the second row alongside Luke Davidson. Ashley England well up on the third row. Then Nigel Green, Joe Nichols, great day he's had. Then Lee Fairhurst, Michael Scriven, the Hednesford specialist, Danny Wayman, Dan Johnson. All of those names potential winners here. Ryan Harrison as well, he had a win earlier. Kelvin Hassel well up on the grid in the number 13 car. 34 cars on track. So many luminaries all down the order. There's 4-time previous winner Paul Harrison in the number 2. 401 Mark Wareham's done well to repair his car after that crash in his final. Fine sight they make as the official cars lead them round. Tension beginning to mount among this huge crowd here at Hednesford, the biggest brisca F1 race held at Hednesford Hills Raceway since the 2001 World Championship, which was won by Rob Speake. First time the British has been held here since 1990, when John Lund was the winner. They move down the back straights. Newson and Harris controlling the pace. Tension reaching fever pitch here at Hednesford. 2019 brisca F1 British Drivers' Championship. 34 cars, 20 laps. Let's get ready to rumble. The green flag is out, and here we go. Newson makes a good start from pole position. Junior Wayman trying to get second on the inside. Will there be any casualties on the first turn? Yes, there will. One of the blue grades, I think that was Aaron Leach being taken into the wall on the exit of turn 2. Tom Harris hasn't made the best of starts. He's down to 4th behind Nigel Green, also trying to come through. I think that's Lee Fairhurst in the 217. No, it's Luke Davidson in the 464 coming through. There is Fairhurst, so a poor start by the 84 car of Harris. It's Matt Newson who leads. Junior Wayman under fire for second place, but there's spun cars in the middle of turn 4, and the race will be stopped. That's 501 of George Elwell and Michael Scriven in the number 12, so one of the favourites involved there. He hasn't even completed the first lap. We'll see what's happened. 501 of Elwell was spun out by a whole line of contact there. Scriven was stuffed into him by Ben Riley, and well, Michael Scriven, who has a string of Hednesford final wins to his name, doesn't even get round the first lap. The leaders did well to avoid them there and avoid creating an even bigger pile-up as they came off turn 4 for the first time. Ready for a single file restart then. Matt Newson ahead of Junior Wayman. Then Nigel Green, he struck lucky because he spun in avoidance of that tangle on turn 4. Then Davidson, Fairhurst, Tom Harris has dropped back. Then Ryan Harrison in the 197. Away we go, Harris up the inside already as the green flags go down, side by side with Fairhurst, and make up the place into turn 1. Matt Newson trying to make his escape with a fair bit of smoke there. I think that was from Nigel Green's car as they locked horns around turns 1 and 2. Up the inside, 464 of Davidson. Green's been taken wide, 4 wide out of turn 4. Fantastic battle for third place, but the first two getting away slightly. Fairhurst up to third. There's more spinners on the inside. Rob Plant is one of them. I think the other one is Sean Willis, number 287, that have tangled there. There's a chicane on turn 2, but the race continues on with the first two getting away slightly. It's Matt Newson who leads. Tom Harris on the fight back now. He's past 197 of Ryan Harrison. Luke Davidson in the Kelsa car gets through as well. Tom Harris will be fired up after making that initial poor start, trying to make his way back up the order. He's up to 5th now. There's Ryan Harrison in 6th under fire from Dan Johnson. Push and shove their way around. Kelvin Hassel has been lapped in the number 13. He was delayed early on. There are your leaders. 16 Matt Newson from 515 of Junior Wayman, looking for his 10th British title. Out of turn 2. Fairhurst 3rd, Green 4th, Harris 5th. Those 5 breaking away slightly. Pace is relentless around the banked turns of this high-speed bowl. Tom Harris chasing hard. Kelvin Hassel has dropped out of the race, and Sean Willis rejoining ahead of them there. Harris on the inside of Nigel Green in 445. Takes the place away up into 4th position at turn 3. There's the top 3 Edwards. Newson, Junior Wayman, Fairhurst, Harris, Green, Ryan Harrison 6th, Davidson, Danny Wayman, Hines and Finnegan is your top 10 as we come up towards half distance. Matt Newson trying his hardest to pull away. We lose Ben Riley in 422. He's pulled up on turn 4. Tom Harris coming under fire from Nigel Green. They're both chasing down Lee Fairhurst. The gaps between the lead groups starting to come down very slightly. Junior Wayman chasing hard after Matt Newson as they begin to, as they take the half distance flag, they begin to come into back marker traffic. Paul Carter, number 300, starts at the back of the grid ahead of the leaders there. Is Junior Wayman limbering up for an attack here into turns 3 and 4? No, he's not. Remains a car length behind the 16. Win here would be such justice for Matt Newson after he came so close in this race at Bellevue last year. Meantime, Nigel Green coming under fire there for 5th position from Ryan Harrison. Ryan stunning 197, the new car debuted at Skegness a few weeks ago. That Paul Carter in number 300 in a Harrison-built car. There's Junior Wayman coming under pressure from the 217 of Lee Fairhurst now. This is allowing Newson to get away very slightly. A couple of stranded cars on track, but they're not causing any major hazard. The drivers all know exactly where they are. Race continues on. Fairhurst attacking Wayman for 2nd place. He's up the inside almost as they come off turn 2. We're with Wayman as they head down the home straight. There's Lee Fairhurst on the inside line. He's up into 2nd place. Lee Fairhurst through to 2nd, looking for his 3rd British title. Wayman looking for his 10th. Matt Newson looking for his 1st, and Wayman getting the bumper in on one of the back markers there, but that delayed him, and Tom Harris has come through. So a curious decision by Wayman there to hit Daz Kitson rather than go up the inside. Maybe he didn't want to risk a bigger hit from Tom Harris there, but Harris, whichever, is through into 3rd position now. That boards are now out. There are 4 laps to go for number 16 of Matt Newson. Pulled out a slight advantage, but can Lee Fairhurst close him down? There's clear air between them. They're coming into back markers again fairly shortly. Finn Sargent's ahead of the race leader there. Lee Fairhurst? Is he sizing up Matt Newson for an attack? Is he going to wait Stuart Smith style for the last bend? Tom Harris just keeping a watching brief in that third place. Maybe he's waiting to see if they trip over each other on the last lap. Tactical game here around these last 2 laps. Is it going to happen for Matt Newson? Is he finally going to win his first major title in Brisca F1, having come close on innumerable occasions? We're into the last lap now of the 2019 British Drivers' Championship here at Hednesford. Lee Fairhurst is getting ready. Can he get within range of Matt Newson's rear bumper here for an attack into turn 3? Fairhurst going to go for it. Walloping goes the bumper. They both go out. They both go into the wall. Who's coming through? Tom Harris is going to win it. Incredible finish. Harris wins the British Championship. Wainman second. Would you believe it? It's happened again to Matt Newson. What has he got to do to win a major title? Exactly the same as Bellevue 12 months ago, and Tom Harris looks in to win the title. I cannot believe that history has repeated itself here at Hednesford. Tom Harris, already with the European Championship to his name, wins his first British Drivers' Championship. But mixed feelings from the crowd here. Celebration for Tom Harris, but they must be feeling for Matt Newson right now. That was a kamikaze lunge from Lee Fairhurst. He knew he had to go for it. And Tom Harris, a disbelieving Tom Harris, surely came through on the inside to snatch the spoils. He's burst a tyre in his celebrations there. The inside rear is flat. Let's take a look at that again. Matt Newson all set to win and walloped. He couldn't believe it. It's happened again. Let's see how far Lee Fairhurst came from there. Straight into the back of Matt Newson. If they hadn't collected Carl Hawkins, the back marker there, I think Fairhurst would have broken the Armco. He was coming in that fast. Look at the reaction from the crowd. And Tom Harris, in disbelief, came through on the inside to win it. Matt Newson must be so furious right now. There we see it from Harris's point of view. The waters parted and through he came to win the title. Absolutely unbelievable. See it from another angle. Fairhurst walloped straight in with the bumper. That was a real kamikaze lunge. Full credit to Matt Newson that he was able to recover his senses and cross the line there, because he must have almost been in tears. Here's the official result then. Tom Harris the winner ahead of Junior Wainman in second. Newson crossing the line in third ahead of Lee Fairhurst. Ryan Harrison fifth ahead of Nigel Green. Then Luke Davidson, Danny Wainman, Paul Harrison and Courtney Wicks rounding out the top 10. 19 cars going the distance in that one. Fastest lap to Lee Fairhurst, but congratulations to Tom Harris.
84, Tom Harris. We're going to say words we've never said before. British champion.
Yeah, I can't quite believe it. I've been close a few times, and it's one that's, always eluded me. I've never got to finish it off. And Catherine won the minis at Sheffield, and I should have won the Formula Ones, but that's stock car racing. And luck was on my side today because we put new brake pads in the start of the race, and I struggled to begin. I was getting out of the way because if I was on the front of the train, I'd have just been a passenger. So then the car got better, and I was closing, but I've run out of laps, and then I knew Lee was going to go on the first corner. But yeah, I've been in that position a few times, and you win some, you lose some on the last corner, and luckily for me, it come my way this time.
Yeah, sometimes it is worth just sitting watching the front two, thinking, well, if they go for it, I'm picking up the pieces.
To be fair, I was closing, and then when the boards come out, I thought I'm not going to have enough laps, and then I could see Lee getting closer to Matt, and I was getting close to Lee, so I thought it must be catching. And then coming off this last corner down here, I just sat there and I thought, when I seen them both turn in, they both cut the corner, and I thought if I can, just sneak around the inside. So I let off early and didn't throw nothing daft and just stood up the inside of him, and yeah, absolutely over the moon. It's like I say, it means I wanted to win this championship more than anything, because it's something I've not won, and now I've got my name on this trophy, and yeah, it means the world to me.
And of course, last year Stuart won the British, then he won the world. You're hotly tipped for the world this year. That it could be your year for doing that as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice. My shale form's been really good. We've been struggling with this car. It's when you do something different, it often takes a while. It's still not perfect now. We had it good at the beginning and rubbish at the end, and now it seems to be rubbish at the beginning and good at the end. So we need to make a compromise somewhere, and we'll keep working with it, and hopefully we'll get it right. Come the shootout and semi-final time, and yeah, hopefully I'll be. If I can qualify there or thereabouts, I think we're in a good shout.
And now you can go home and celebrate with the team.
Thank you very much.
Well, not only is Tom Harris the British champion, but he's also opened up a substantial lead in the grading points over Junior Wayman. Matt Newson still in there in third place ahead of Nigel Green and Danny Wayman, but a long way to go yet in season 2019. But who can stop the Tom Harris steamroller? That concludes a wonderful day's action here at Hednesford then. Truly exciting title race won by Tom Harris, who adds to his long list of wins. Commiserations once again to Matt Newson. What has he got to do to win a major title? That's all from Hednesford today then. Next time out in front of our cameras, we're still on the tarmac on the fast quarter mile down at Vauxhall Stadium, Ipswich. But for now, thanks very much indeed for watching, and goodbye.